watch the thing too. There you go.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Oh, well, thank you for coming all the way down here. You kind of combined it with a Disney trip.
Yeah, personal trip.
Yeah, personal trip. But
combine two personal things at once.
Cheers. There's your audio sync right there.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna actually here we'll do the wine glass and the bottle.
Yeah, that's a pure Rob fashion right there. I'm beginning my my podcast episode with a wine bottle clink.
Welcome to This Week in Vino.
Oh man, so I wanted to bring you on just because I don't think there's another person that I know that off-roads more, I think, per year than you. I don't know another person, because we do 6 events a year, and inside that you pre-run every single one. So you're doing 12 events a year, basically, right? I mean, little
and sometimes more.
yeah, and then there's the stuff that you pre-run that we don't like. We say no, that's bad. Don't do that.
yeah, don't do this. It's terrible.
Yeah, and so I think how many runs total have you done with us?
I counted the stickers on the truck. I think it's 31 or 32.
Okay, that's pretty good. I don't think anyone has that beat other than me, just because I have to be on every one of them. Even though I've left one. I think
there was one run that I finished that you didn't.
Correct.
And I think the last run in Death Valley, I finished the whole run and you didn't. You were right into my passenger seat.
That is unfortunate.
And we should have been recording that in-cabin audio the whole time because we had some gold in there.
No, that would have been a podcast in itself right there.
Luckily, I deleted that GoPro footage. I did not use some of that because I was like, oh, here's a really good shot on the trail. Oh, this is awesome. Then I was like, oh, yeah, Chad and I are talking shit about something.
That happens.
Yeah, the audio can't be used.
All right, well, speaking of talking shit, so what is your favorite part of the runs?
I mean, overall, I think it's twofold. So, like, the pre-run stuff is all about what is all the cool things that we can find. Like, we can take your knowledge and my knowledge and other people's knowledge and find that's amazing places that we can go that we wouldn't normally have access to or not normally have on our list. Like Lakeview, Oregon's not on anyone's bucket list. Mm-hmm. But once you've been there and you know what's around,
I want to go back.
I want to go back. I want to go back to Lakeview, Oregon, right? So there's the pre-run part, which is the exploratory, which is like, what can we find that we can share with other people? Then there's the actual run, which is the cool, check out this really cool ceramic I made in art class that you want to show your parents and like, check it out. It's amazing. And so the second part of it is like the actual events where we get to take people to those amazing places that they wouldn't normally go. Mm-hmm. And they especially wouldn't go by themselves. Mm. Like, no one's going to be like, let's do a solo road trip to Lakeview.
Yeah.
Or Rome, Oregon, where there's one gas pump.
Even if you had the trails, which is something that I wish more people understood. As soon as you come on a run, you understand that what we're doing is not the absolute limit of the truck. It's not. Sometimes it's very, very close, right? But as in total, we're not pushing the trucks 100% all the time, 24/7 when we're out there. The idea is to go out there, have fun, and showcase something that you can't go do. You could. There's a level of danger associated with it, level difficulty associated with it. If you go do it by yourself, that you don't have, or is significantly reduced if you go with a group. So you come with us with the trail lunches, and we have the shirts and the swag and the stickers and the jokes and the fun. But if you went and did that by yourself, the level of difficulty and danger that's associated with that skyrockets. So you include all the other stuff that we include. You include the camaraderie, you include the club atmosphere, and then you include the safety reduction, the safety increase and the danger reduction. That's what the fun of it is you get to go do that with a group of friends, and it's a little bit more safe than it would be by yourself, and you get to go see things that someone else went like, hey, this is really, really cool. I have to go show this to people. And then we have a vehicle that you can take to go do it. A Jeep or a Toyota Tacoma or a Chevy cannot get you. I should say it can get you there. It can't get you back.
or it can get you there. It can get you there
partially
slowly.
Slowly.
Yeah. So like pre-runs, there's been some stuff that we coordinate that I'll pre-run alone, or I'll have like a passenger with me, right? So I'm never like fully by myself. There's always at least one passenger with me, or maybe one other vehicle. Sometimes there's more. But we know from our pre-runs, When you're totally by yourself, you have a different risk analysis of every situation. So there's things that you're like, okay, we don't really want to go down that because it's a bad idea. Sometimes there's things like Fisherman's Road in Owyhee Canyonlands where you go, I'm really glad I was by myself and I wasn't taking 20 trucks down that trail because it would not have been pleasant.
There's a flip side that you are thankful. Occasionally you have a bad trail and you're very happy that you're by yourself. But
then you pre-run those and you're like, okay, it's great we did this. We're never doing it again, or we're never doing this with like 20 trucks again, like because it's too complicated. But the flip side is there's times that I pre-run that I have other people like coworkers and stuff that might come along on a pre-run and help out, but they're rarely in Raptors. And it's always comical when I tell everybody like, oh no, it's a pre-run. It's totally fine. You'll totally be able to keep up with me. It'll be fine. I'm going really slow because I'm mapping out stuff. I'm looking for like sites to see. Like, do we want to stop at a mine? Do we want to stop at a hot spring? What geological features that we want to check out? And then I get to the turn and I wait 8, 9, 10 minutes
11, 12
for the other vehicle of another brand to show up, and they're like, oh wow, how long have you been there? I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to tell you how long I've been here.
Yeah,
it's not going to make you feel good.
And I don't know. There's something to be said about just the speed. Again, you're not going race pace when you're doing a pre-run. You're not, and you're by yourself or you're with someone in a less an off-road vehicle, but a less capable off-road vehicle. You don't want to wreck your truck. I mean, and that brings us to another point. At no point do we want to go fast to where you wreck your truck. You know, and that's, I think, a concern with certain guys that haven't come on runs, or they see the videos like, oh my God, they're going so fast. I don't want to go that fast. And that's not the case. We go fast when it's safe to go fast. Now, your fast could be the one guy in Oregon. His fast was not our fast. It was slower. That's fast to him. But guess what? Through the course of the day, we figured out that, hey, that's his fast. He wants to go 30% less than what everyone else feels comfortable in the group doing. Guess what? We will give you 30% more time. It doesn't matter. We'll just leave 30% more in between you and the next guy. And then he can go at his pace. He's happy. He's having fun. And slowly over time, he'll come back and come on another run. And then his fast might be another, 10%, 20% faster. And now he's with the rest of the group and whatever. But you don't have to wreck your truck. You don't have to go fast. You don't even have to put yourself outside your comfort zone. You don't. You just have to come out on a run, and you'll see that it's not, get some butterflies, the first couple times you ever do it. But other than that, it's not the scariest thing in the world. It's actually really fun. Like mile 2, you're like, holy shit, this is really fun. So I think there's a disconnect, or not disconnect. I think there's a hill that certain people have to get over, and they go, oh my God, I can't do this. It's my daily truck. That's another thing. It's my daily truck. I get that all the time. I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah, I want to be able to drive it home and drive it to work next day.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You have a Raptor. You can do that.
Yeah. Because I want to park it at the parking lot the next day and then have random people go, are you the dude with the blue Raptor? Like, where'd you go this weekend? Because it's covered with dirt, or it's covered with dust, or if there's a new scratch on it. They want to see they want to know where I went.
That's my favorite question when I come back and the truck's dirty for a few days or whatever.
Where'd you go?
In your case, it's dirty for 2 months until the next run.
I confess there's both Death Valley and Mojave Run mud still on the truck.
Yeah,
it did not get a full detail between. There was no time. I'm too busy.
Not for that one. And that's my favorite question. Where'd you go? Or some of the people around the neighborhood, they ask, oh, what'd you do? And I show them pictures and they go, oh, that's so cool, and this and that. And then you show that to another person, or you show it online, and they go, oh, I want to go do that, and that's it. And then they come on a run and they're bit by it. And
well, that's another important thing too, is like we're really careful to curate stuff, so anyone can go to Mojave. There's a paved road right through the middle. There's a paved road that goes kind of westerly. You've got paved options that are super easy. Anyone can go to Mojave. Not everybody's going through Afton Canyon. Not everybody's going through Hole in the Wall and all these other places that are super cool. And not everybody knows where is the cool spot to stop to see something neat you can't see anywhere else. So every one of our runs has stuff that not everybody gets to go to. They just can't get there in the vehicles that they have.
Yep. And if they attempt it, they're just introducing a level of danger and concern, liability that they shouldn't be doing. You see people who are in capable vehicles, but they're by themselves. They very well may be a very capable driver and person and everything. They're by themselves. I still put novice on my own little run announcements that I have to make everyone fill out. I still put novice or proficient.
I think I told Ford I was a beginner.
I think I told Ford I was a beginner too. The precision driver story should come up.
Oof. The precision drivers always seem to end up in a ditch.
Yeah, and it was so. Anyway, so hold on to segue onto that. So we were in Baja last year, and we had a Ford. We had a camera crew with us that was with Ford or from Ford, and day one, and I'm sure Jeff's gonna watch this. Day one, we're doing the crossover road, and we're just south of Valley T, and it's kind of like, if you saw the video, it's kind of muddy and rainy. It's raining, you know.
It's raining, yeah.
And
it felt like Tahoe.
Yeah, and Jeff just goes too fast sometimes, and came around a corner, and it was the exact same. The only time we've ever had damage on any of the runs has been an over the hill, and as soon as you crest, it's a direction change. It's a left, right, whatever, and as you come down, you don't have the same weight on your wheels where you thought they were, and then now you have to make a direction change, left, right, whatever, and that's the only time we've ever had damage. We've had damage 3 times that way.
Yeah.
And
actually, there's a good story to go along with that from the dynamics piece of it, because everybody has to remember that when your truck goes over something like a blind crest, the mass of your truck is moving up. Your suspension is traveling down. You have less traction. When you land, you gain a whole bunch of traction. You feel confident because you've gained traction.
And then the reverb.
But there's a rebound that's coming. And when the rebound comes, you actually lose a little bit of traction during that very short period. And that little short period, I think that's the danger zone for a lot of people. Because that's where if you have the right skills, you know that's coming and you've prepped for it and you've all throttled up. You've also made sure I'm not slamming my brakes right at that moment. I'm going to corner through this. If you do it wrong, even the slightest bit wrong, you're not going to have the same control.
Or you get a little undulation that you thought you didn't know was
something
there.
Different. Yep.
And it kicks you again on top of the reverb that you just had. Game over. You know.
Yeah. Then you've got a problem that you didn't anticipate.
So then you become a precision driver because you go over the crest, and it was downhill, sweeping left to a slide uphill, and Jeff just.
I think what we'll describe Jeff as our tenured. Jeff will be our.
You can't fire him.
Yeah, we can't fire him. Yeah. Jeff is our tenured professor of understanding. Let's rephrase it. Jeff is our tenured professor of testing the dynamics between the laws of physics and the capabilities of the Gen 2 Raptor.
Yeah, the capabilities of a KO2.
Yes, the KO2 tire. Yes,
and so he crests it, and I have to give him a ton of credit. It was, and maybe we'll put the picture of him.
Yeah, we should have the photo.
We got to put the picture in. And he was off the trail, and he was down. How many feet do you think he was down? Like how vertically?
It was over 20 feet because his bumper didn't touch the road. His bumper wasn't level with the road. His bumper was below the road.
Sure, yeah. but he had to go down 10 feet,
10, 15, yeah.
15 feet, maybe.
Yeah,
just down, and that's. I can't imagine that. He said that ride was pretty crazy. I can't imagine that ride at 30 miles, 40 miles an hour or whatever. And you careen off a trail. He kept all 4 tires on the ground, but he dropped 15 feet. Yeah. And then he tried to self-recover, which was insane. Yes. And he self-recovered 6 feet. He got there, and then he just couldn't anymore.
That was his moment of, if I recover this, no one has to know about it.
Correct. And absolutely no way you could do that. And then my favorite part is now, we get him out, whatever, 0 damage. It's the absolutely insane part. 0 damage. Now, my favorite part comes when we're at Alfonsinas 2 to 3 days later. And Ford goes, hey, we want to go do some curated shots, and we want to get people going fast but safely, and we want to have a camera car in front and this and that. And they go, we want you to pick 3 precision drivers. And I go, yeah, for sure. I'm sitting there with you in the restaurant, and I'm like, who the hell do I pick? And I couldn't do it. And so I picked Ian, and then I picked Chris Mayer, and I picked Chris. That's fine. And then I go, Jeff, and the director goes, wasn't that the guy who was in the ditch on the first day? I go, yeah. I go, but that was an anomaly.
Yes.
That never happens. And he goes, okay. And he brought him, and he got some good footage. He got some good footage of it. But I was just laughing because, literally he's like, He goes, pick 3 precision drivers. And so from then on, Jeff he's a precision driver.
Chris Maurer was a good choice for precision driver then, because the truck was new enough. He was still a little cautious with it.
Yeah, he goes 10
He
out.
was
He doesn't listen to me. Every driver's meeting, if you've been on a run, every single driver's meeting, what do I say? I say drive 80% and you will have 100% of the fun.
I think Chris is driving 180%.
Chris drives 180%, and he has like 180% of the fun. But I saw him kick one time, just like a donkey kick, and I was like, oh my god, you almost pot over tea kettle, almost just went over. I couldn't believe it. That was in Ansburigo. I couldn't believe it.
I believe the two of us had an incident in Death Valley that was interesting.
I wonder who was driving.
Yeah,
It wasn't me.
On to the next topic.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that was ironically, it's something that I knew existed, but it wasn't where I thought it was. This is a great example of when we call out mile markers on stuff, and we always tell people, drive what you can see, drive what you can see. This kind of fits that category, a little bit different angle, but it fits the category because it's something that I knew was out there, but I thought it was a couple miles down the road and lost track of a giant wash. So for those that don't know, Chad was passenger with me because his truck was sad that day.
My truck was having some seasonal depression.
Yeah,
it didn't want to go out.
It was squealing like a chicken with its head cut off. It was not happy that day. So Chad was with me passenger seat, so I was driving, and we were talking about stuff, and kind of comically, the audio from the video is sort of hilarious because I was like, wait, I can't see the button. I needed to pay attention to the road, so I asked Chad, press the button to move me up to sand mode because I wanted to change the driving mode because I was starting to lose speed a little bit. And
I did.
So it's just right as Chad hit the drive mode, I'm like, great. And then I had glanced off the side of the trail to look at something, and when I looked back, we were headed towards a giant wash. We nosedive into the wash. We blew sand all through the front end of the truck. Hit pretty hard.
My head hit the headliner.
I thought we broke things.
I thought I was bracing for a potential roll.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly, we kind of kept rolling. I'm like, well, the truck's still driving. Let's keep going. So we just kept going.
As soon as you kept rolling, I'm like, wait, we made it?
I was like, yeah, we're good. I'm like, everything's going. We're fine.
And we're still going like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, we're still like 30.
we made it.
I'm like, okay, let's keep going. And then I was like, there's a suspension code, but it cleared itself. So cool. That's awesome.
Which one didn't clear itself?
Which one didn't the wire got cut to the blow-off valve, so that damage that lingered for a few days until I figured out what it was. But so we rolled ahead a couple of miles, and I was like, hey, let's check the truck. And I was like, where's my license plate?
Where's my brand new traction boards that I won?
And my traction boards at the back of the truck are gone. Those are somewhere. And then I went to the front. I was like, oh, the Baja Designs lights on that 880 bumper are pointed a different way.
Yeah,
there was some interesting sand-related modifications to the truck. The amazing thing is, shout out to the ADD guys, I guess. The skid plate did its job. It sacrificed itself and protected everything else it was supposed to protect. It did its job really, really well.
Yep.
And the Fouts license plate holder sacrificed itself, but the license plate survived.
Yeah.
So that still has to be repaired.
California government would be proud of you for saving that one.
And I tracked down. Yes, they want that front plate. And then what was the other thing I repaired? Oh, the blow off valve wire. Some rock or something hit that wire and just sliced it. Yeah. I've ordered that from Ford because I was like, I want to repair it the right way.
Oh, you didn't just add your own wire and splice it?
I have my splice. The splice is what's in there right now. But I'm like paranoid. Like I don't want like water or something like years from now to cause me a problem and have a problem. So I ordered that. But there was one in stock when I ordered it, and they said that usually means they probably have to make it.
Oh, really?
So I haven't heard from them for 3 weeks. Might be another 2 or 3.
What did he just tell me? I had damage from Death, even though I had 1 day of driving. I had damage.
Wait, the only damage I know you have from Death Valley is ego.
Yeah, no, that hurt. Well, no, it didn't even hurt. It didn't even hurt because I didn't do anything wrong. I was just driving. How did it start? I can't even remember. Oh, I was just driving. We were done. We were done with Ubahibi Crater.
Yeah.
And we were just driving to the hotel. And I looked over at Adrian and I was like, man, something sounds really fierce underneath the truck right now. And I was like, I don't have an overheat. I don't have a code. I don't have a flat tire. I was like, I don't want to stop. I was like, I'm good with it. And then it got louder and it got louder. And I was like, this is so bad. And then we were, at that point, we were playing, that Ranger was playing like bad cop, and he was
Yes,
like running in and out of each of us.
Yeah, we don't know what he was doing.
He was leapfrogging, but like
that was weird.
Incredibly dangerously, and like almost caused like 2 head-on accidents, and then he just gets in town like
the rest of us.
Like the rest of us. I didn't understand.
Yeah, he was going 10 over on the road.
I didn't understand why almost head on with a Sprinter van and like a car for like to get in like 15 seconds.
You know what it was?
Us.
He heard that squealing noise from your truck, and he was trying to figure out which one of them it was.
It was so bad. And then we roll into the only gas station in town, and it was like that was embarrassing. But why do I get embarrassed? I didn't break anything. It was so bad though.
What was great is when you were in Furnace Creek,
everyone looked at me.
I heard you from far away, and I was like, good God, what is that horrible sound?
So
like
bad.
I could hear it from far away. I was like, that sounds terrible. What kind of crappy thing is making this no? And then you turned the corner. I was like, oh no.
Yep.
That's not good.
And okay, so for reference for anyone listening, that was my brand new Raptor R at 1,100 miles, 1,200 miles. And that was the starter. So they replaced the starter. It hasn't happened since. He said he boroscoped the flywheel and like the bell housing and everything, and he saw no damage. I guess the damage is inside of the starter. I guess that little gear or whatever that spins has to be the part that had damage. But
yeah, so if it,
I don't know.
I was figuring out if it. I tried to reverse engineer the math, and the math would be is that if the solenoid was sticking engaged,
like 40,000.
it would be like 35 or 40,000 RPMs inside the starter. So it would burn out the bearings in the starter and make a horrible noise.
But it took 2 hours on the Monday home.
For as long as it did it, though, I will say kudos to the Ford engineer that designed the starter.
Whoever made the starter,
because that starter endured a level of abuse that no starter should ever survive. Like if this was a 1985 vehicle of any make or model, that wouldn't have made it more than 50 miles, and the starter would have like torn itself off the side of the engine.
And made 200 plus miles home.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was nice on it. I wasn't mean to the truck at that point because I was worried about getting home, but didn't want to be stuck in halfway home from Death Valley and need a tow. But
we did get some pretty epic video that you were like, check it out. When I drive downhill, it doesn't make the noise. When I drive uphill, it does. That was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. I used that as in pure like dealership fashion. So I get to the dealership, it's not making the noise.
Oh, of course.
Son of a bitch.
Because all the metal's worn away now.
Son of a bitch. And I went straight to the dealership.
There's no bearings left in the starter at this point.
And so I used that video to like state my case basically. And if you listened very faintly, you could hear it so faint. You could hear the noise. But God, nothing like it was like a 1 out of 10.
Yes.
And in Furnace Creek, it was a 10 out of 10.
You could hear it 2 blocks away.
You could literally hear it 2 blocks away. It was like an embarrassment. So that got fixed. A strip bolt got fixed. The sunroof got fixed. Partially my fault. Sort of.
Do tell.
No. And then
don't
no.
Let's
Okay,
do a little rewind here. Why was the sunroof problematic?
You need to remember that you have a Starlink Mini on your sunroof before you open it. I'll leave it at that. You need to remember that you have a Starlink on your sunroof.
And what part breaks if you don't?
The track. And the track is a one-piece track, and there's no getting around replacing it. You can't fix it. It's a full replacement. They take your entire interior out of your truck, by the way. And full interior comes out. I asked them to tighten everything down a little tighter because it rattles. From the factory, everything rattles a little bit.
This is where karma's going to come back on me because I'm at 161,000 miles.
Yeah, you're about to have a rattle machine.
I have never had anything wrong with my sunroof, so knock on wood.
Well, I wanted to say that because everyone... So this is something I want to touch on. You off-road more miles than me. I off-road a lot of miles. There's a couple other guys in the group that off-road a ton of miles. We all have sunroofs. I want to put out the misnomer. I want to quote the misnomer that if you have a sunroof, it's bad. It'll break. It'll whatever. That's so not true. And guys, literally, and I want to put that. I want to put in perspective. You off-road more than me. I off-road a lot. I off-road about 5%. 5%. I mean, it's a little bit more. Maybe closer to 10% of my miles are pure off-road miles. There's some that are light off-road and easy and whatever. Maybe you get to like 20%, right? But I off-road a lot. You off-road probably about 20% of your miles are pure off-road.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So you have 161,000 miles. Math in public says that's what's 10% is
25 to 32,000.
Sure,
just roughly
30,000 miles off-road. Now you're gonna make a decision about an option or feature on your truck, and you are 20%, 30% of your miles are off-road. You're going to make a feature decision on your truck because you think it might go and break or rattle or whatever, and you have a 2022 and I got it without a sunroof because sunroofs suck. No, they don't. They don't suck. And mind you, normal Raptor owners, 1 to 5% of their miles are probably off-road.
Yeah.
1 to 5%. So you're going to make a feature decision to your vehicle and not get a sunroof because you think you're Mr. Billy Badass and your truck's gonna break and whatever because you off-road 1% of the time. So 99% of the time you don't get to enjoy a sunroof on your $85,000 truck, $90,000 truck because you think you're the guy that's gonna break the sunroof off-road. No, it's incredibly wrong. It's backwards thinking.
Get the sunroof and enjoy it.
Post 2019. There's never been an issue with that sunroof track. Never. Pre-2019, I give you a little bit of validity to your thought process. That the 18, 17, and the 14 to 10, those sunroof tracks had some... And I won't even say that. The 10 to 14 tracks are actually pretty bulletproof. The 17, 18, the Gen 2, the early Gen 2 sunroof tracks, which is an F-150 problem. It's not a Raptor problem. The F-150 problem, the sunroof tracks for 17, 18 Raptor, those had issues. I will give you that. But that gave the guys in this world this leg to stand on, and they just keep limping it along. It's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, the mythology has taken hold, and everyone believes the mythology.
It's so strong. It's not an issue. It's the same thing with the ADD bumpers. Oh, they rust out. They're terrible. No, they don't. They rusted out in like 2014 when they were like brand new.
Actually, let's see. I'm on. You sold me my ADD bumpers in late 2019. The only rust on my ADD bumper is where some of the trim on the truck rubs against it. Yeah. And there's like an 1/8 inch wide, 10-inch strip of, I will say, always fresh rust because the trim rubs against it just a little bit. And I've never bothered to fix it because I can't be bothered. What's
even funnier is that now they include a rubber piece that's an isolator between the trim and the bumper. So that doesn't even happen anymore.
Yeah.
But that mantra of ADD sucks, they rust out, blah blah blah. No, they don't. They had some powder coat issues in like 2014, but that stuck around. And I sold parts from 2018 to 20. Was it 2018? 2018 to 2022, 2023. So 5 years I sold parts. I don't know how many hundreds of ADD bumpers I sold. Maybe one guy was like, it's rusting. I'm like, well, you're in Minnesota in the winter. It's gonna rust.
Well, and let's also do perspective. Like, okay, let's see. I've taken my truck down Bonneville twice.
Mm-hmm.
And once was the time when I got out on Bonneville and I was like, oh dear God, what have I done? Because it was open. The sign said it was open. It should not have been open. There was water. So I'm literally driving 60 miles an hour on salt water an inch deep on a salt flat. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And so what's rusted under the truck? Some pieces of the frame. There's some places where there's rock
it's like pit rust too, because the rock hits it.
It's because the rock hits it. Yeah. So there's all that. Is anything on my ADD bumper rusted? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know whose bumper didn't rust and they drove through the ocean? Hunter. He had the ADD, the Pro frame cuts on his Gen 2. I think he still has them. And he drove through the ocean. Literally at I don't want to say the name of the beach because I don't want to blow it up. I like that little beach.
The secret beach.
I like that beach up in NorCal.
The secret beach. It's not in NorCal. It's in SoCal by Carmel.
Yeah, it's in SoCal.
It's by Carmel.
That's like mid-Cal. That's the SenCal. But, no, okay, so I like that little beach. So I don't want to say the name. But that beach, he literally drove it through the ocean like multiple times. And he's not rusted. I've seen his truck. It's not rusted.
That's where Mike Barrett got stuck.
Ooh.
Like really stuck.
Say his name again.
Mike. Yeah, Mike. That secret beach. We have some excellent photos of Mike Barrett, not only stuck in his Gen 1 with the Whipple, but just digging himself down with all that power. Every bit of that power was put towards kicking out any sand left under the truck for traction.
It's like 700 horsepower.
And just to
sink it out of his own way.
He couldn't get out of his own way. No.
And then I come in with 510 horsepower, and I pulled him right. And I weighed less, by the way, and I pulled him right out with ease. That's funny.
Yeah, that was a good beach run.
That was a good beach run. That was before
Carmel.
At Carmel. Go drive on the beaches in
Everyone-
Carmel. Let me know how quickly you get arrested.
Everyone's
Let
gonna
me
be like,
know.
they said it was by Carmel. I'm like, nah, yeah, sure.
Let me know how quickly you get arrested when you're driving on a beach in Carmel in Monterey. But yeah, that was before the beach run got massive.
Yeah, beach runs got big.
I'm a little scared this
Oh,
year.
we should do a little toast.
I need a drink.
Well, we can toast with your empty glass.
No, that's sacrilege.
We have to do a toast to the missing beach ball from the last beach
Oh,
run.
yeah, we should do that
don't,
again.
We still don't know where the beach ball went.
It's
We
in
long
it's in
for its return.
The Pacific
Garbage patch, probably.
Yeah.
The beach ball blew away. It's a sad day.
Well, I was thinking about the only negative thing about Pismo
Crowds.
is crowds. That's one bad thing.
Crowds.
That's why I like the
Wait,
other. That's why I like the other beach, because the other beach was. So
Let's
nice.
see. One thing bad about Pismo. Crowds. Crowds. RVs.
Be nice to Pismo.
RVs.
Be nice.
RVs stuck on the beach.
I like that though. That's fun. I like that part.
It's entertaining.
No, is the wind. You hit
Yes,
hit
yeah.
like 1:30, like 1 o'clock. It's just so windy. And so I have a solution for this year. We're gonna line up like how the RVs do a break. They kind of do like a little circle.
Yeah.
The wind only really comes off the ocean, right? And so instead of having everyone line up nose to, I
Right.
want to have them line up at about 30 degrees.
That's a good idea, yeah, because
and
it'll
then
break it
really
through.
tighten up the parking, because some guy you leave like 6 feet, whatever. Tighten up the parking, get a little uncomfortably close to where like you still open your doors because you're at an angle, but have everyone just line up at about a 30-degree angle off from each other, and that should kill a fair bit of the wind coming behind the trucks, like when we do the raffle and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. This should.
Yeah, it's worth a good. It's
We're-
worth a shot.
And I thought about doing 2 rows of trucks this year, but I don't know how optically I like the long row. It's fun. It's fun to drive down, or it's fun to stand there and see people driving down and looking over and seeing like 50 plus Raptors all parked next
and
to
actually, what else is really good about that? It's really nice to see somebody driving by the long line of trucks when they realize how far the line of trucks goes.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like 2 groups of people. There's like the random Raptors that are happening at the beach that day that are like,
they stop over.
They stop. They're like,
actually
what is
come
this?
say hi.
And how can I be a part of this? And then there's the faux Raptors that are maybe well set up, but they're like, I could have saved so much money if I just started with a Raptor rather than starting with what I had and adding tens of thousands of dollars
Do
to
you
it.
want to talk about that though? Because I have opinions on it, and they're probably counterculture, a little bit. They're probably a little counterculture.
Uh-oh. Let's see
They're
where
not
Chad's
bad.
going.
They're not bad. No, they're not bad.
I don't know. I just feel like there's a threshold. There's a threshold where
I have a very
you can
specific,
upgrade something.
I have a very specific threshold. And
10,000.
No.
No.
It's not monetary.
I thought it was
It's
a
not-
dollar
No,
amount.
not monetary. No. My threshold is stickers and badging. You can do anything you want to your truck. Anything. This can be for cars. This can be for trucks. And I don't care if you get, whatever, the Section 8 Bentley, and you want to dress it up like, whatever, Chrysler 300, make it look like a Bentley more, do whatever you want to do. But the second you put a Raptor badge on an F-150, I draw the line, because what you're doing is you're guising it like it was purchased as a Raptor, which is incorrect. Now, you can do anything. You can put the 3 marker lights, even though you don't need the 5 marker lights, even though you don't need the 3 marker lights in the middle because you're not beyond 83 inches wide, which is DOT standard. So it doesn't matter. But do that. Do wider fenders. Do Raptor takeoff suspension. Do anything you want to do. Anything you want to do. The second you put a badge on it, I'm gonna shame you for it. I will shame you. I will call you out. I will up badge, slut shame you. I will do everything in my power that I can because you put a badge on it.
Yeah.
Don't put a badge on it. I think it's a cool truck. I don't care. I like them.
I think we'd also call out. We won't call out brands by name. How about that? But
I don't care.
well, one thing Ford does that's different is like the Raptor frame is different than the F-150 frame.
Sure.
The Raptor R frame is different than the regular Raptor frame.
Sure.
There are modifications that are different.
Sure.
There are some other brands out there where their off-road special truck, the frame is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The upper arms are the same.
Unfortunately.
There's a lot of components that are shared. So a lot of them take the shortcut of let's put in some cool lower control arms. Let's add in some travel. and let's put in
with like Bilsteins.
Let's put in some like better shocks than stock, and we'll call it good to go. So there's like a threshold to that. So cool, you can do all that stuff, but like, hey, if you're starting with 2 trucks that are $85,000 and one of them is ready to go, and one of them you've got to dump $40K into it before it's ready to go.
That's the thing. That's where they get you though, because they're going to go out and get a used 2020 50, F-150 short bed on Facebook Marketplace for $42,000.
They can get a 2020R now, or 2020 Raptor for that. Almost,
yeah. Well, now, but you get a really, really nice, 2022 whatever, F-150 short bed, 50, low miles, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, somewhere in there, and then you're going to add $25,000 to it, right? And so you're at $75,000. You can't really get a new Raptor for that.
You can get a 2-year-old one.
You can get a 2-year-old one. So the cost per, just effort value starts to change a little bit, but they'll do it every day of the week because they can't finance $75,000, $85,000, $95,000, but they can finance $45,000, and then they can pay out of pocket for the mods. Which again, I have zero issue with. I have zero issue with. If you want to do it that way, that's awesome. You built something that's cool. The second you put a Raptor badge on it, fuck you. That's 100%.
I still not gotten a picture of it. There's a really bad example of it in Silicon Valley. It is a bone stock F-150 white
with a Raptor badge.
With a Raptor badge.
Oh no!
I could forgive that.
I can't.
But he didn't remove the FX4 sticker.
Oh yeah,
the Raptor sticker.
The FX4 Raptor
overlaps it. It's the sticker overlaps. I've tried twice to get a photo. I'm gonna have to wear my Ray-Bans more often so I can get it because I see it once in a while. But he didn't even take off the FX4 sticker. The Raptor sticker just overlaps it.
Yeah.
So you see the shadow of its former self under there.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
It's fairly bad.
All right, so the beach run.
By the way, should I tell you it's riding on 22s?
It's even more unfortunate. I mean, his money, right? But
yeah.
I'm
sure it looks good from the inside.
Yeah, right. It looks good from your house. You can see it. Okay, so the beach run's huge this year. We had 50-something trucks last year. We already have like 65, and that's not including like Optima. It's not including hand race design. It's not including like Poly Performance are coming. PCI is coming. That's not including those trucks. So we have over 70 trucks now. Baja HQ is bringing 2.
And of course, the taco truck. The most important truck of all,
the taco truck,
is the taco truck.
So
I really hope this year we have this problem we've had in years prior, where people think the tacos are for sale and they try to get in line and get our tacos, and we have to turn them away. Like, no.
We need like private event signs.
These are not yours. I have some private event signs. Okay. I put your face on them, but
don't bring them back, please.
Oh, but I think I still have 2.
You know who still brings back the flags from my birthday? Because I did it close to my birthday that one year. It was Nader. He still brings back the flags with my face on it for my birthday. I still have 2 flags with your face on them.
That's insane. They're in the garage.
We should do more
Chad branded items.
No. We should do more.
Who wants a Chad Lindley branded mankini? Actually, the question for the audience is:
Suitor would want it.
Do you want Chad's face on the front of your mankini or the back? Where do you want Chad's face?
Not enough real estate on the rear.
They could be very small ones, like a line of them.
That'd be funny. Like a Asian tattoo up the spine.
We'll do a fundraiser. Who wants to see Chris Suter in a Chad Lindley mankini
with 30 pieces of flair?
With 30 pieces of flair on the front.
No, so the beach run's big this year. That's good. No, I was gonna say we should do more like NCRR and SCRR like swag that isn't t-shirts, right? Everyone likes t-shirts, everyone likes hats, but I've burnt those into the ground. I've done a lot of those. I'm like thousands of t-shirts at this point. It's crazy. I should do something like different. Like we did the Yeti cups. I did bottle openers one year. I did Yeti, not Yeti. I'm sorry. I did Pelican cases.
Pelican cases were cool.
I know. I got to do I did license plate frames. I got to do those. Do license plate frames and maybe some more bottle openers. I did tire pressure monitoring or tire pressure gauges one year. But I have to do more like not swag, like not t-shirt swag.
You know what's really in
figure
now.
that out. What?
And
Don't say some stupid shit.
What all the high school kids were wearing when I was down at Disneyland? Zippered hoodies.
No, stop
zippers
that.
everywhere.
No. So for
Everyone with
reference, I
hoodies with
don't like zipper hoodies. I don't.
And
like
Ken
them.
and I both like zipper hoodies.
I don't like them. So
See, Chad's beard hasn't grown in as long as mine.
I don't.
So,
it's not even that.
like,
I don't like the way they look. I think they give you like a weird look.
I need the zipper to clear the beard. That's the problem. If I pull the
I ordered
pull
you
the hoodie
your
over-
special hoodie this year, and I did it for Kenan too. But I'm not going to do it in mass. I will not do it. I just won't do it. I don't like it. But
Listeners, if you want a zippered hoodie, add it to the comments.
no, don't do that.
We just need to inundate Chad with.
Look, I'll do an
Zipper
order.
hoodie.
I'll do an order. You pay me the
Oh, no, this is with the zipper-
the $50 for the hoodie, whatever, and then
Zippered
I'll
hoodie.
buy the
Chad will be like,
hoodies.
You can get a zippered hoodie, but it's an extra $20 on your run fee.
Ooh, might be kind of nice.
Oh, we make some extra revenue.
Yeah.
all of a sudden, with the extra 20 in the play, now Chad's interested in
That's
the
not
zippered
bad.
hoodie.
It's not a bad idea. All right, what's been your favorite place to go off road? Because I have an idea of mine, but it's like tied, and it's okay to have like a delineation of like a stateside versus Baja versus like not.
I got a lot of good places that we go, but I think the place that we go where I like it the most is Mammoth.
You like that?
What I like about the Mammoth area is that we get such a broad mix of different types of off-roading that we can do all in the same day. Mm-hmm. We can see some amazing geology.
I like the geology.
It's very remote. It's stuff that most people aren't even exploring. And most of the folks that we encounter out there, they're either locals that are familiar with the area or people that are from the surrounding area that are visiting it, and they're just as excited to see us as we are to see them. Mm-hmm. So it's not a tourist destination. Most people just don't know that exists.
Yeah, you go that way on the Eastern Sierras, and it is pretty quiet.
Yeah.
When you get out there,
Yeah.
it's not Mojave, it's not Anza Borrego. You get down there, it's busy, man.
Yeah.
And
And-
Anza Borrego's crawling with people. But
It can get really busy, and then Mammoth there's some mystique to Mammoth on like how it's so well maintained. And a great example of that is when that hurricane went through and it just tortured the trails and all of the roads throughout Death Valley and Mojave and everywhere else. Just 2 months later, that main road on the north side of our Mammoth route had been graded and was just as beautiful as it was before. The only difference was because of all the debris flows. Instead of a 1 or 2 foot berm on each side of the road, there's like a 6 foot berm now.
6 foot berm, yeah.
But they graded that road back down to its original surface, and they got everything back where it was 2 months later. It was record timing.
they are good out there,
and they're really good about that.
And
so
I agree with you on that. I like the geology. I like the remoteness or the quietness. It's not even that remote. We've been to so many more remote places, and there's like random people. I'm like, what are you doing out here? And there's like a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's one place north of Bishop in Mammoth area. One place north of Bishop that you get all those camper vans, all those sprinters, and you're like kind of close to Bishop. Again, you're not even that remote. You're not.
yeah, it feels remote.
It feels remote, but then you're kind of close. You're like within like 30 minutes of town, right? But yeah, I like it because it's quiet for the most part. And then I like the hot springs.
Yeah.
I wish, because that place is crawling with hot springs.
Yeah, we've got a lot of hot spring choices out there, which is super unique.
I just like it because you do a whole day of runs, right? And you 150 miles, right? And then you're like, damn, I'm tired, and then you go to the hot springs with like a couple beers. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that's super unique. The only 2 places we go that we have access to good hot springs, Mammoth has tons of natural hot springs. There's some pools that are built up, right? Like there's some pools that are built up. Some of them even have some controls. You can control the temp a little bit. Like there's some things like that, which is awesome. But oddly, the other place we had hot springs, now it's a pool, so it's more structured.
I love this place.
But it was at Lakeview, and that's the Neon Cowboy. Like
I love the Neon Cowboy.
It was absolutely amazing to be in Lakeview at this sort of quirky, fun little motel. It's gone to like all renovations and everything else. But the pool is fed by the hot springs on one end. So it's like cooler at one end, hotter at the other end. But it was super nice to like have dinner, hop in a hot spring pool.
A big pool,
yeah.
It's
like,
probably 20 wide by 40 long.
Yeah.
Would you say?
I mean, the difference is we put like 12 dudes in that pool.
Say it again, brother.
Yeah, we put 12 dudes in this giant hot spring pool, and everyone had space that you could move around and do stuff.
Everyone had space.
When we
chose not to take it.
When we put six people in crab cooker,
it's a little tight.
Hot spring at Mammoth, that was a little snug. There was not a lot of room. There was some standing room only situations there.
Yeah. And then you have to deal with a lot of other people.
Yeah, other people coming by, and then getting out of those was like the rocks are slippery. There's mud, there's ice, there's snow, there's
Long
like depending on the
walk,
season,
yeah.
there's a walk. Super nice in Lakeview to be able to just like, oh yeah, let's go out to the hot spring
Right
and
to your hotel room.
I'm gonna slip my shoes on and walk 200 feet to my hotel
Yeah,
room.
not even.
I could dry off and just go to bed like that. That's super unique.
That place, I'm telling you, and I don't even want to blow it up because I want to go back there. And
Yes.
But
Neon Cowboy in Oregon, and it's horrible. Don't go there.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
Surfing sucks. Don't try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Neon Cowboy in Lakeview, very, very cool hotel, and they had pool table, they had restaurant, they had a bar, a cool wait staff, they had the hot spring. You go, what was it, like 8 minutes out of town and you're like on trails? Like it's
8 minutes away you're on
so
trails
cool.
and you're seeing amazing
So
stuff.
cool.
35 minutes you're in Antelope Refuge.
Yeah,
So
and it's stuff that you don't see down here. You can't see that stuff. And so then we go 3-4 hours away, and we are in. It is considered the most remote location in the continental United States. It's 4 hours away from Lakeview.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some of those ridges that we were on, I was like, don't die.
Yeah.
It's a long way to a hospital from here.
Yeah, the pre-running it, Dave rode with me on that pre-run, but we were solo truck.
Did you stay at Lakeview?
You stayed Lakeview? No. So actually, I looked at that's actually a really funny story. So pre-run for Oregon, booked known things. So like when you're doing the pre-runs, you book known things. So there's a Best Western in Lakeview. It's fine, but I booked that. So Dave and I had rooms there, and I was like, but there's this other place I want to check it out. I'm like, but I can't tell from the website if it's super cool or really sketchy. Like I couldn't quite get a good vibe.
Was it the white place, the white hotel on the right side as you come into town?
There was that one that was a little weird. Yeah. So that one was like,
weird.
I'm glad we didn't stay there.
Yeah.
And then the other was like, I was like, then there's this Neon Cowboy thing. I'm like, I don't get the name. It wasn't like connecting with me for the space. I'm like, and the Google Earth photos are from before they remodeled.
Yeah, I saw that, and you recommended that. I was like, brother, I hope you're right.
and everybody was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, no, I've been there. They've done a remodel. It's really cool. We should go there. But when Dave and I had dinner there, Dave literally tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, dude, should we just stay here and abandon our rooms at the Best Western? I'm like, we already paid for them. They're already done. He's like, how much would it cost to just stay here? I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
You should have. It's cool. I like that.
And looking back,
a lot.
I kind of wish we had because we would have had a much better time.
The beds were super comfy.
Beds were comfy. The shower was nice. I was like, everything was good.
This is not even a PSA for the Neon Cowboy. I just liked it a lot. It was like, and I wish we could have stayed there another night and found a loop trail around Lakeview and done like a more Oregon versus a point to point.
Yeah, they gave us some choices. They gave us some suggestions on follow up. There's some ideas for there. So we have some future stuff to do there for sure. But yeah, so Dave and I were getting our bill at dinner, and they're like, "Yeah, you come back. You could check out the hot spring pool and everything else." Then I looked at Dave, and Dave looked at me, and he kind of glared like, "I told you so.
Stayed here.
We should have stayed here." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, no, that place was super cool.
Yes.
So I would go back there. And the unfortunate part is it's 13 hours from SoCal. So that is an unfortunate part. It's 8 hours from NorCal, or 7 hours from NorCal. But
6.5.
Whatever. Well, it's funny.
For me
in Healdsburg, it was like 5 hours. 5.5. But that place was very cool. I liked that place a lot.
Yeah, we definitely have to go back up there because also remember there's part of Steen's Loop we didn't do because we were snowed under.
How many miles? 16 miles or 19 miles or something like that?
We have like 18 or 19 miles of trail we didn't do because it was snowed under. And that was funny because
that was deep snow. It was on the top of a mountain.
Yes,
too, and that was up there.
And when Dave and I did the pre-run, which was late July. It was late July for the pre-run.
Yeah,
and
I was so nervous for an October run.
The loop wasn't open. So for perspective, the loop was not open in late June when we did the pre-run because there was still some snow and a rock slide. There was a rock slide and some snow.
So it's open from July to September.
It's like July to September. It's a really short window.
Because we did October and it was big snow.
Yeah,
big snow up there.
And that snow came in just days before we got there. So
I was so mad. I was so mad seeing the weather report on like we were there on like a Thursday, Friday, whatever. It was like Monday. I was like, this sucks.
Yes. On the plus side, we got some epic fresh powder snow up to that one overlook. So,
which was cool. I'm glad we made it to the one overlook because if you look at that drone shot, if you look at the Oregon video,
it's amazing.
That drone shot is so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So cool. I'll try. Maybe I'll make Adrian put it.
Maybe throw a shot back then, or maybe throw in one of the shots of the stuff we didn't get to see.
Yeah, right.
Here's the stuff Rob and Dave did on the pre-run. Because
I wish we had a Jamie. Like a Joe Rogan. Jamie, pull that up.
Pull that up. Yes. Yeah.
I have an Adrian. who can put footage in this.
Adrian can pull that up. Yeah. The pre-run's funny because when we did the pre-run too, it was like green and giant hills.
It was like a super bloom almost.
Everything's coming up with like a super bloom. It's this amazing thing. And Dave and I are looking at it like, this is like, I've never been able to stand on the end of a canyon like that where you're listening to water fall into the bottom and all the wildflowers in bloom.
11,000 feet.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Like this is crazy to be up here. It's absolutely beautiful. And like, I can't wait to bring everyone back. And then we come back and like, it's under 3 feet of snow already.
3 feet of snow. Yeah. Pure sheet ice on top almost. And I was like, we should not go more.
How did this happen so fast?
And then we went down so slow. I mean, thankfully we went down so slow. But if you looked in reverse, like when we were going down the mountain, and you looked out that way too, it was still impressive how high we were.
Yeah.
But oh my God, thank God we were going down so slow. It was
That's when I was.
It was incredible.
That's when I turned into like nanny on the driving etiquette. I was like, okay, I want everybody in 4 low. I want everybody in first or second gear. Like, you just need to crawl down those because that's like the type of terrain too. Like, it's super steep. It's downhill. Brakes are not going to save you. It's ice.
No, you're just sliding on ice.
You literally cannot get above a certain speed, or you're going to be in trouble.
You'll be in trouble.
And it's better to take an extra 2 or 3 minutes to get down than to spend 3 hours pulling a truck off the side of a mountain.
Yeah, no, or telling them just to go down to the next, whatever you call it, roundabout there.
Or calling a helicopter for, we got a Raptor on the side of the mountain. We're pretty sure the driver's done. Come get us.
That would be so bad. Yeah. No, that was I loved that place though. I loved it. Steen's. I'm gonna blow it up.
Yeah. If French
don't say words anymore.
Yes. Don't say words. If French Glen, Oregon had a hotel, we could fill it.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
French Glen, Oregon, cool little town. It's a 1 gas pump, 1 half of a market town.
I love that gas pump. I'd never.
Analog. Oh, yes.
Honestly, I'd never pumped on an analog gas pump like that, but on an honor system too.
Yes.
So not only is it analog gas pump, I've pumped that. I get that. But then in like a real like monetary scenario to where you have to pay someone for the gas, I've never done like an honor system gas like that before. That's cool.
So this gas pump is older than Chad.
No, it's older than Rob. So you rolled up and you picked a side because there's only one handle, and then you had to, so you put the handle in your tank, you had to reset. So obviously on the side, easy, right? You reset all zeros, and then you flip it, and as soon as you turn it on, like the dude inside is just chilling. He's just chilling inside. Then you fill up your 20 gallons or 25 gallons, whatever you do. Then you close it, and I know this doesn't seem so crazy when I'm describing it, but in person, and then you go and you tell them, okay, it's posted, price, but you go tell them, okay, it was 22.2 gallons, right? And you go inside, okay, it was 22.2 gallons, and he goes, okay, no worries, and he times it on a little calculator, and he goes, okay, it's this much, and you pay right there, and then he goes, okay, and you walk out, and then you click reset on the thing again, and then the next guy pulls up and does it again, and guess what? You do that for like 17 trucks. or we did it for like 12 trucks. Not everyone needed gas. But that's cool, man. Like, and then to find the old fire truck that had the wheat growing out of it, that was cool. It was a horse and buggy fire truck, or maybe it wasn't, but it had the wheat growing out, the barley growing out of it.
Okay, this is where we have to educate Chad on plants.
No, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It was an old shed with an old antique fire truck in it, and it was growing hops.
It was hops, yes.
Hops are used to make beer. Hops are what gives beer its flavor. Wheat
I'm
and
aware
barley.
of that part, but whatever the hell it was.
Listeners, it was hops. It was hops blossoms.
It was hops because you could scrape them off and then you rub them in your hand and it smelled like beer. That was cool.
Still amazing.
That was cool.
Still amazing. Yeah. Hops blossoms growing on an old fire truck.
So you said Mammoth was your favorite.
Yeah, Mammoth's
place. Oregon is tied. So stateside, it's Death Valley and Oregon for me. I love Death Valley.
Yeah.
I love Death Valley. It's so cool. The topography and the geology and everything involved with it. The sunsets. I like Death Valley so much. So cool. And then to think about it, I don't find Death Valley scary. I don't find it. But like you tell certain people, I went to Death Valley for 5 days. And like, whoa, like you're in Death Valley for 5 days? Yeah, it's cool, man. It's super fun. And it's just some people have like a little bit of a hesitation to it,
Yeah,
But,
I mean, in technical level, other than Lippincott like a black.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
like a black diamond.
Most everything is a green to blue.
Most everything else is green to blue. It's pretty tame, easy stuff.
It's just the inherent danger
yeah.
of being. What did we talk about when we first started? Being alone. I would not look. I've done Death Valley more than most people. I wouldn't want to do it alone. I would not want to do it. And I know those trails. I see a road or I see a trail. I'm like, I've been there. I know exactly where that is. And I wouldn't want to do it alone.
I've never pre-run anything at Death Valley alone. I did a pseudo pre-run of just one trail because it was new. It had been opened. And I pre-ran it super cautious. That's the only thing I've done.
Over Hunter Mountain was so fun.
But yeah,
so
nothing
fun.
else out there I've ever been alone.
Hunter Mountain's been closed for 2 years.
2 years?
2 years. And so every time we've gone, it's been closed. And not every time. We did it for a couple of years, and then it closed for a couple of years, and then now it's back open. This most recent time, so fun.
Yep, perfect.
We were hitting stuff at like, and I was playing around. I was lead. I was playing around like race pace, and I was like going. Adrian's like, oh, "You're driving fast." I'm like, "Because I remember this shit."
Yeah,
and it was fun, And then it was like ×2 fun because I hadn't done it in 2 years, and then ×2 fun on top of that because it was like it was reopened. It was smooth. It was like red clay dirt. I'm like, this is so fun. Like this is not. This is a little different than what it used to be. This is improved, Yes.
And well, there's no big boulder in the way now.
And oh my god, that big boulder was
crazy.
Big boulder. But that was so fun. So I love going over Hunter Mountain. That's super fun. At speed too. And then when you hit the declines and all that, you gotta slow down. But that was fun. So I'm tied between Death Valley and Oregon. That stuff from Oregon to Idaho was
Owyhee Canyonlands.
Owyhee Canyonlands. That should be a national park.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I would delete Joshua Tree and I would add Owyhee Canyonlands. For real.
I would delete part of Mojave.
Sure.
And add Owyhee Canyonlands.
Sure.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff in Mojave. I'm like, whatever. Like, we've done it. It's cool, But I would delete that in a heartbeat and I would add Owyhee Canyonlands. That's so cool. To drive through that at like pre-sunset, right? Like the sun was still in the sky, but it was nearing the rocks, and to have those long shadows, those long cast shadows, and everything. God, that was so cool.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to do that in 2026.
Yep, we have to do that one again.
We will do that again. That was so cool. That was I was tied for number one stateside, and then number one is Baja. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Baja is our main draw. Like that's
that.
the one everybody has on their bucket list. That's the number one on the bucket list. I would say number one on the bucket list for everybody should be Baja. Number two for the bucket list should be either Death Valley or Oregon.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is that we've done Arizona, we've done Idaho, we've done Oregon, California, Nevada, Utah, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. But we so next year I want to do. Some trail. I don't want to say what it is. I want to do some trails we haven't done before, and I want to go to New Mexico. New Mexico is
good stuff there.
Super cool stuff in New Mexico, and we haven't done New Mexico as a group yet.
Yeah.
So I want to do that. We're going to northern Arizona this year, which is cool. But Baja is something that everyone should do, and we've done a northern run as a group. I've done some runs separate. I've also done some runs, not on my own, but as a small couple of guys kind of thing. And Baja Sur is just something different. It's just so pretty down there. Like,
I think basically
you can't even describe it.
It's largely undeveloped. Like even from our last Baja run, that followed. You basically had us follow some areas where we knew we'd have services, right? Like
sure.
Like
well, you have to.
You have to follow some patterns, right?
Sure.
But even then, a lot of the places we went, like, okay, here we are. There's one gas station, so
Bay of LA.
Yeah, everybody pace out like how you fill up, because it's going to take us 30 minutes for everybody to
it
jump
took
off.
us like an hour in Bay of LA, and some people don't like Bay of LA. I like Bay of LA a lot. The sunrises are very pretty. The people seem nice. The Rocavilla restaurant that burned down, that is now rebuilt, is really nice.
We have to go back. That place was
amazing. We have to go back. We can't include it on the 25 Baja run. We are including it on the 26 Baja run. But that place is super cool. I like it a lot. One gas station, though.
Yeah.
Shitty gas as well. It's very shitty gas. So you got to think about that. And no diesel. So 2 chase trucks, no diesel.
No.
Both are diesel 250s, then shitty gas, 1 pump. It's technically 2 pumps. It's 2 sides, but it's 1. So you got to think about that. It took us about an hour.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And that was on top of a driver's meeting, on top of everything else, on top of camera crew waiting on us, that kind of thing. It was gnarly. That was the fuck up of the trip, was that. So if I have that as my fuck up, I'll accept it.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad. To have a shitty pump kind of scenario. I'll take that.
I think my fuck up on that trip was the Google Maps can find the dinner place.
Yeah. The Rocavilla joint? And then we drove in the dude's backyard?
Yeah, we ended up in somebody's backyard. It was like,
that was so bad.
This is not good. This is not
I mean, it wasn't that bad. No one yelled at us or anything.
But I'm sure he was like, why are all these raptors in my front yard?
17 raptors in my front yard right now.
And why do each of them have 100,000 lumens of light on?
Yeah, you're like, go right. And I'm like, or you said go left. I'm like, no, I think it's right.
Dude, it's on Google Maps. I got it all cached. It's downloaded. We're good to go.
Yeah, so
we're at somebody's house.
Like someone's front yard. This is out of the radio. This is not right. We need to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then we were like 2 miles.
Yes, we were completely on the other end. Yeah,
we were ways away from it.
Yeah, I would say Google's knowledge of Baja is limited.
And then they have a beach club now in Bay of LA.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if it's the same dude, if it's similar. Maybe the guy just knows the other guy, but it looks very similar to how Rocavilla was set up. So Rocavilla had a fire, super sad, it burned to the ground, and then the dude rebuilt it in like rocket speed. He rebuilt it. It's a little different. I don't know if that little like archway is still there. I like that archway. That was cool. But he rebuilt it, super cool. And then now they have a beach club, and the beach club is on the northern end of the little bay.
Oh, nice.
And it looks super cool. I mean, it looks just like Rocavilla, but it's a beach club, and you go and there's drinks and stuff like that. But it looks fun. It looks super cool. I'd go there. I would almost plan for a half day, like a late start, and then go to the beach club in Rocavilla, hang out for a couple hours, and then start at 11 or something like that. Because that breakfast at the that hotel there was really good too.
Oh yeah, that was probably one of our breakfasts. Yep,
that was a really good breakfast.
Yeah, actually, that hotel was one of the ones where a few of us were like, "Can we just stay here a little longer?"
I just wanted to say that. I was like, "This is really cool."
I got up in the morning. I flew the drone. I got some footage. I was like, "There's an amazing beach here. This beach is phenomenal." Mm-hmm. Okay, driver's meeting, time to go.
Yeah, that was the one part about that trip was we were just
busy.
On the move.
It was a busy trip.
So
we had to allow time because we knew things would go wrong. We knew like DJ was going to drive into a crack. We're going to extract one truck from a crack.
I'm going to get a refill, but I want to talk about I like the guy so much, and he's going to watch
DJ.
this.
Oh, yes.
No, Teo.
Oh, Teo, yes.
Yeah,
Teo, yes.
I like him. He's a super cool guy. And I'm going to provide a little bit of backstory about him driving into the ditch. And that was 3 hours. 3 hours of recovery.
3 hours, and then DJ put the icing on the cake.
And then DJ put the icing on the cake with 10 minutes later getting stuck again.
Yeah, if there's one person that needs to say no to crack, it's DJ.
No, it's DJ so much. Okay, I want to make fun of DJ, but I also want to talk about Teo. I like him. Okay. If you don't know, I mean, probably no one knows. But, so like I mentioned, Ford had reached out to us. And by the way, I should have a whole episode on how this even transpired.
Yes.
Because I didn't even do it. I didn't even do it. I didn't do it in this way. Baja was not even on my radar for them. It was on my radar for myself. We were just going to do a Baja run. Turned into a Baja run for Ford. And I didn't change anything. I was actually very I was kind of hardball through the entire process. I was like, I don't really care what you want. I was like, I'm doing this anyway. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yes. And they came back after like 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Like, okay, we want to do it. And what do you need from us? I'm like, well, I need you to like not be in my way, you know. And then they were like, well, how?
Foreboding.
Like, what do you want? What do you want us to do? I'm like, you know, because they wanted to make a film. They wanted to make, you know, I should just say, they wanted to make basically a film about clubs that are around or centered around or because of Ford vehicles. Super cool, right? It's called Welcome to the Club. You can go find it on YouTube. They did one about Mustangs before us. Now then they wanted to get on Raptors. Super cool. I initially proposed a Death Valley run, and I go, I have a Death Valley run teed up. I go, we should do Death Valley run. It's inside the United States. It's easy. I love Death Valley. Super pretty place. We'll get it done. You know, 3-4 day run, whatever. And they go, we can't get it done. It was like November, and this is in like July. They go, we can't do it by November. I'm like, really? Like, I put a whole run on in like 2 months, man. How can you not do it? And we can't do it. I go, okay. I go, I have a Baja run. It's in March of next year. And then they go, okay. And I didn't hear anything after that point. And then so I reached out to them like weeks later. I was like, are we doing this? Like, I'm starting to plan. You know, are we doing this? And she goes, oh, you know, I'll get back to you, this and that. And then Ford comes back and they go, no, this is amazing. We want to do it. What do you need from us? And I'm like, well, okay, what are you trying to achieve? You know, then they'll welcome to the club, the whole thing. They kind of filled me in. I go, okay, that's doable. This is fun, you know? And then reality set in of like, it's a camera crew. It's all this rigging and gear and cameras and what. I was like, brother, Adrian brings like one camera and like a drone. Like I've, you know what I mean? A little more than that, but I was like, but man, I don't know. You know, this is another level. You know, so fast forward through 200 emails, maybe more, and 20 Zoom calls and all this stuff. Fast forward, and we're getting to Baja, or I was talking about a week before, and they go, we want to bring, literally a week before. And I've been doing this, and Kenan called it the most. We call it the most prepared Baja run in history.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it's true. You know, oh my, the amount of preamble and pre-work was insanity.
Yeah, the detailed work beforehand was kind of astonishing.
I had never, because they wanted so much, and I was like, you know, like I get it, I'll do it for you. You know. Anyway, so a week prior, they go, we want to bring our own vehicle. And I go, yeah. You're gonna bring a Ford Bronco and you're gonna bring some other stuff, but not for trail. You know, you're gonna bring it for your people, because they had a Ford rep and they had another Ford rep, and then they had a rep from the production company. Then they had the director of the production company. Then they had the director of the film company. Then I was like, whoa. So they go, no, we want to bring a truck on trail, and I'm like, nope, sorry, can't do it. And they go, no, it's a off-road capable vehicle, blah blah. I go, nope, can't do it. And it like stalled like a week prior. They were getting like, and so they had like a very, not intense. It was a serious call about like, look, we need to basically assuage me, you know, from them to say, hey, look, this is okay, and blah blah blah. And so I was open to it. I was like, look, I'm not gonna like, you know, toss the fucking whole thing out the week prior, right? But it's a rented 2500 Power Wagon that had like a shell on it and had like off-road tires and it had a Carly kit on it. I was like, man, like, you know, again, it goes back to like, we don't push the trucks 100%, but I don't have commonality on parts. I don't know who's driving it. I don't know anything about this truck and how well it's maintained. Obviously, it's a rental, and you can, you know, fastest car in the world is a rental car, you know, and you can, and all of a sudden, not only is it a rental, it's a rental you can drive down on Baja. That's gnarly. So I go, no. I go, I don't want it on the trails with us. And he goes, we need it for the camera equipment. I go, great. And I'm still in like the Adrian mentality. And I'm like, have the guys carry the shit that they need, you know? And it's not like that. They have so much more, this and that. And to be fair, they had
a lot more equipment.
Much. I'd never seen so much camera
Some
equipment
of
in my
it
entire
fell
life.
out of the truck.
Yeah, it did. I'd never seen so much in my entire life. So I go, look, you can bring it. You know, we had this big, long, hour-long Zoom call with like 8 people. And they go, okay, you know, you can bring it, but I have to be the arbiter of where it can go, where it can't go, this and that. So end of day one, it's just the coastal trail. It's not hard.
The cows and the water puddles.
The cows and the water puddle. And so he goes, oh, he just did crossover with you guys just behind you, you know. And he goes, he wants to in case the guys need something for, for the beach. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm chasing the sun right now, man. I'm trying to get to town before dark, you know. And he's like, can he go on the trail with you just in case they need something? Okay, fine. Okay. So you can go. And what was that, like 4 miles in the trail?
It was about 4 miles in. Yeah.
5 miles, maybe.
Really deep washouts.
Gnarly washouts, like 5 foot deep washouts. Yeah. Gnarly. And we're all navigating it. We see it. Hey, don't drive there. You know, drive on the berm and this and that, whatever, around. And then I don't know that this guy is like, you know, he's like 6 miles behind us, right? So we're already up to the fence line. We're already going down the fence line. We're going to go to the beach. And then we hear over the radio that he's stuck. And I'm like, no, because it's not an out and back. It's A to B, brother. We're not coming back.
Well, we didn't plan on coming back.
And I was like, no. I was so angry because we were on Pacific side. We were getting to the beach. We're going to have a nice little, like, you know, it's like 12 miles. And then we're to the hotel.
We never saw the beach.
And we never saw the beach. And we had to turn around. And we go and we see this Ram, this rented 2,500 power wagon with, I would assume, 2,000 pounds of camera gear inside of it, Pelican cases and the whole thing.
Yeah, all the stuff. Yeah.
2,000 pounds, I think about. Maybe 1,500 pounds of camera equipment inside of it. At about a 40-degree angle, stuck, you know, absolutely like 3-wheel motion in it, you know, in the crevasse, basically. And Teo was driving. And he was so, like, scared, embarrassed, that kind of thing, you know. And I was like, whoa. I was like, brother, you fucked yourself pretty good, man, you know. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And the sun's going down and this and that.
It wasn't just partway in. It was in one of the deepest, like, washouts. And
it was in one of the deepest washouts. Yeah.
Forward, backwards. No direction was possible for movement on its own. It had to get pulled.
Yeah. And then, okay, so then fast forward, and it's on verge of tipping, which is the issue. So we put a strap around the B pillar, not to pull, but just an absolute safety. Like, I'd rather it pull on the B pillar, a couple 100 pounds of tension, whatever, and like probably be just fine, you know, than have a truck roll. I would rather. And we can reset and figure it out and whatever. So we put an absolute, you know, tertiary safety strap on the B pillar. And then we're trying to pull it up, which made more sense than pulling it behind. And we've got the, you know, literally the owner of the production company is like shoveling it out and trying to like create a path for it and everything. It's fun. I will say that kind of stuff is like team building. It's very cool, right?
Yeah, the camaraderie in that situation was key, right? Like everybody dove in to help wherever they could. Everybody did their part. Everybody took a turn or two at the shovel.
Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, so that was 3 hours to get that out. And it's not even that bad. I think 3 hours, right? But couldn't see the beach. Had to go back, you know, just reverse on trail like 5 miles. And had to hit the road and you know, go to town that way. So that was unfortunate. But, you know, Teo was so, you know, like he just felt bad. You know, that he was like embarrassed that happened.
Yeah.
And
you never want to be that guy.
Never want to be that guy.
That's just like going to the bathroom and clogging the toilet at a party.
Yeah. And where's the plunger, brother?
You come out, there's no plunger, there's no nothing. You got to come out and you got to be like, hey, everybody, guess what?
Yeah,
I need some help.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like 3 hours to get him, and then DJ, literally, it's dark. It's dark at this point. You know, and I'll have Adrian put footage in, and
put footage in.
Adrian. Put footage in, and. So it's dark at this point, and he'll put footage of the original recovery of the Ram. That took a long time. And then Chris broke his front differential mounting bolt on his passenger side, I believe. And so that kicked him out of 4-wheel drive for the rest of the trip, which sucked. And we didn't have a lot of water that time, but he did fine. But that's one thing to consider. You know, you do a recovery and then you hurt yourself during the recovery. It sucks, you know. So DJ gets stuck leaving. Didn't Suter almost get stuck?
I think Suter almost got stuck.
Suter almost got stuck.
We'll have to
Very
go back
close.
to the footage.
He's gonna be shitty, and he's gonna watch this. And he's like, I didn't get stuck.
I didn't get stuck. Actually, I think Suter got out on his own.
I think Suter got out on his own.
He self-recovered. He went into the crack. Suter did crack, but Suter recovered from crack.
And then
DJ did crack, and DJ didn't recover from crack.
And didn't recover. So we pulled DJ out. At least it was quick. At least it was a few minutes,
I think we spent more time putting the bell on than anything else.
I know. And then from that point, it was like 2 hours to town on road because it was longer. It was longer on road. It's maybe it was an hour and a half on road, but God, it was like 7:30, and we didn't get till dinner until like 9. And it was going to be 12 out or 12 miles, 15 miles on dirt to town, and maybe like 30 minutes after that to town. But it would have been like half the distance, half the time, half the distance. And God damn it, I was like hoping for like a 7 to 8, 8:15 arrival latest.
I remember it was dark when we got to town. It was dark when we were driving through town, and then we cracked a beer on the trailer. When we got there, I was like, "This is a great beer." Right now, I'm so happy about this beer. And that was the end of day one of Baja. That was gnarly. And that was and then no one really got stuck. After that, we didn't have any other. I think after that, everyone was like, "I gotta pay attention. I don't want to be the person that holds us up for 3 hours." But guess what? You know what? That Power Wagon drove the entire trip. Did well. I think Teo learned whatever, but did what he did, and so it was a little slower, but it kept up. Yeah. It did drop a few things on the trail here and there, but we picked them up. I still remember Chris on the radio going, "There's a box on the trail. Looks like it fell off the camera truck. Looks expensive. Drive around it." Chris didn't tell us to pick it up. He told us to drive around it. I'm pretty sure that was a very expensive box. Yeah. But that was a fun trip. That was a very fun trip. And for those who went on it, there was some. I of course told everyone what was going on beforehand. I said, "Look, there's going to be a lot of media people. There's going to be a lot of Ford people. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't normally see on a run. They're going to curtail some portions of the day." And I made it very, very clear ahead of time. I go, "You're never going to make us go backwards on trail. You're never going to make us do something again that you didn't get because the sun wasn't right or you didn't press record." Not that they're silly like that, but I go, "You're not going to make us do that." And he goes, Nope, we would never make you do that." I go, "Fine, then that's fine." And I get to tell you where you get to go, and you cannot tell us to go recreate a shot. I go, you get what you get. And they were cool with that, and that was the only reason that I was like, "You know what? I'm cool with it then. That's fine." And for everybody who got to do that run will always be special. Mm-hmm. You're not likely in your lifetime to ever again be able to say, "Oh yeah, I did a Baja run with Ford Motor Company and a camera crew from Ford." Yeah. You're just not going to be able to do that. No. It's not going to happen. No. So it was cool. That was very cool. It's funny. Adrian's videos have gotten more views than that video, but there's something very, very special about that. It's a damn movie. Yeah, it's really cool. And it went well. Ford loved it. Everyone loved it. And I think that was just a really, really neat experience to do. And coming, this year we're doing a run that's over twice as long, and the next year we're doing 2 runs that are equal in length to that one. So it's gaining. We're just doing more and more down in Baja, but it's so pretty down there. You can't not do it. If you have a Raptor, you can't not do Baja. And we're not the only group that does Baja. I'm not an idiot. There's groups that have been doing Baja 10x, 20x longer than we have, or more than we have. But there's something to be said about the club mentality and going with your friends. Yeah, I mean, like for a lot of these events now, it's a lot of people that are repeats. Mm-hmm. So these are people that come back again and again and again. We've all gotten to know each other really well because we do get so many people who repeat attend. It's interesting because you sort of have a continuation of your experience from like one run to the next. So if you do an event and you see somebody once, that experience ends. You'll have memories of it, but the experience ends. So a good example of this is if you've attended like a driving school somewhere and you had participated with other people and you're like, cool, I learned a bunch of stuff and I met people from all over the US. Great, cool. But you probably didn't keep track with them much. When you have like sort of more a club focused experience, it's like, oh yeah, these are people that I'm going to keep knowing. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to see them again. I'm going to see them again. You can remember from last time. You're going to troll them with cool stickers or something embarrassing that they've done before, or shitty stickers that are terribly difficult to get off their truck.
I need the taco suit again.
Yes, if you still have the taco suit.
I don't. But I mean, come on, it's a $30 taco suit. I'll get one.
There is another option for you. I think you need to get the taco suit in the largest size possible so it fits the most variety of people. And during a
big
run,
guy. If it fits me, it'll fit most others.
During a run, when somebody has a break or a flat or whatever else,
I like where you're going with this.
They have to wear the taco suit until the next person.
Oh, man, the thing's going to get tatered because you're going to be changing tires.
And whoever ends the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how dirty it gets or whatever else, but at the end of the day, whoever has the taco suit at the end of the day has to do something at dinner. I'm thinking a taco-themed dance, like It's Raining Tacos. There's a whole song, It's Raining.
I've heard it.
It's Raining Taco. Yeah, they got to do that or something at dinner. I think the taco needs to come back as a transitional thing to the day. Were you even on
the taco run?
No, I was not even on the taco run. I had to practically pay people to give me photos of you in the taco suit.
Yeah,
I wasn't even there.
I think Nader gave you pictures of me.
I can't.
I'm going to blame him.
I can't reveal who.
I'm going to blame him. Who? Ryan Beatty? Ryan.
Can't tell you who.
Ryan or Nader.
Actually, what's really funny is 3 people gave them to me at the same time. When I made a request to a larger group of people, there were 3 that sent them. I simply had to work with the highest quality image that was
I'm going to shun Ryan, Nader, and Will. I think they did it.
That's how I got the taco outfit. And all I thought was, what the hell? Why would this guy show up in a taco outfit?
Why don't you troll Joseph? He was in like Jedi shit.
Anything else? Nothing.
It was a Halloween run.
Nothing was as good as the taco. Oh, the taco set the benchmark. Choco still exists today.
I do like Choco.
Choco's still around.
I like Choco more than I like the mammoth thing. What's the thing? Oh, mammoth. What is it?
Oh, the one where I put you on the mammoth?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little sticker.
No. Harry loves that. No, what do you make fun of me for on the...
Oh, the straw.
No. The straw's fine. That was also mammoth. That was a mammoth.
That was a mammoth, yeah. There was a lot of material from mammoth.
No, what do you make fun of me for the... It's not the Yeti. It's the Yeti.
Oh, the Yeti. The Yeti.
You make fun of me for the Yeti.
That was when AI crept into the mix.
Was that AI?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the Yeti was AI generated, then I had to put your face on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did do a little touch-up.
You're going to love what I'm doing to you at the beach run. You're going to love it. You're going to keep it. Oh. That's the crazy part. You're going to keep it. And
see, this is where like morbid curiosity, because part of me is like, maybe I should just not attend at the last moment.
No, that would be so shitty.
I would just call in sick and say, I'm sorry, Chad. Kids are sick. I can't make it.
No, you have no kids. That's completely unacceptable.
The cat is sick. I can't make it.
The cat can die. No, you're going.
Unfortunately, my reservations are non-refundable. So
yeah, no, you're going. No, you're gonna and I'm gonna be part of it. I'm going to stay up late and I'm going to do it. It's gonna be good. You're gonna like it.
I was being very worried.
You're gonna like it. The unfortunate part is you're going to like it, you're going to keep it. For like, I don't know how. I'm sure you kept my face on the side of your truck for like months.
Chad, it's still on there.
Okay. So you're going to keep, I know this is like quality. So you're going to keep this.
So just so people know, there's a sticker of Chad's face right on the passenger side door of my truck from the Death Valley run.
Earlier? No, not Death Valley.
Was it Death Valley or Mojave?
It's Mojave.
It's been on there a while. It's been on there. It's just started to fade.
Oh, really?
But I told people, like, take a picture of Chad and post it on Instagram. It's Death Valley. It was Death Valley. It
was Death Valley.
Every time I requested the truck back from the valets at the Grand Californian at Disneyland,
no. What did they say?
There were comments about whose face is on the side of your truck.
That's funny.
And this morning it was parked there for about 20 minutes while I loaded luggage. And like hundreds of random people going in and out. We're all looking at the side of the truck.
Really?
And like, who's the dude face on the side of the truck?
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's Chad. I seem to remember when you sent that image in chat. Kenan said, "You're gonna regret sending that."
I honestly thought you weren't gonna pull that. Like,
I thought you cropped it just carefully with a straight line to keep me from using it. But then I was like, well, that makes it sticker edge that I can put at the edge of the door.
No, I wouldn't have done that. I just thought you wouldn't have used that one. Anyway, this is G-rated, but anyway. Okay, so I was going to ask you. So, what things do you think, equipment, whatever, just gear, do you think is good to have, overhyped, that kind of thing? What do you think people should, and I have a list too in my head, but what do you think people should have, and then what do you think is overhyped and people don't need?
Let's see. Let's go for should haves and must haves. Let's bundle those together.
I don't want to. Okay, hold on. I don't want to do it that way because on the website, if you go on the website right now, that's how I did it from the very, very, very beginning. The first thing ever I did was I did must haves and should haves, and it's good, but it's a lot of information.
Yeah,
and so I want to skinny it down a little bit to must haves and don't needs. Like overhyped kind of scenario. So must haves. What do you think? Like a couple of pieces of gear, and this is not Chase Lights and a radio, because everyone who attends our events needs to have
Chase Lights
and a radio.
Yeah, Chase Lights radio. So let's say givens are Chase Lights radio, first aid kit, fire extinguisher.
I don't even want to I'm not putting first aid kit anymore because I'm not. So here's the thing. You look at like a Ranger battalion, right? Every Ranger carries a first aid kit because it's self-aid and buddy aid.
Yeah.
Okay? It's self-aid and buddy aid. I don't want to rely on some random dude's first aid kit to self-aid, to buddy aid them. I'm just going to rely on Kenan's. Yeah. Kenan's going to bring his own shit over. It's a blowout trauma kit. He's going to fix him if something really bad happened. And I don't want to rely on that dude's kit.
Right, yeah.
So, mymedic.com, which is actually pretty good. My Medic's fine. And so is Desert Squadron and all this other kind of stuff. But I don't want to rely. So I'm not going to make it a requirement. Plus, making it a requirement makes it seem like that person has a level of knowledge of use of those items.
Correct, yeah.
Which is also inaccurate.
Yeah.
Not everyone has a level of use. So I'm not going to require a medical kit. So fire extinguisher, everyone can use a fire extinguisher. And sometimes seconds matter in a fire. And if I'm 2 minutes away from you, right, as a sweep truck and whatever, you're the last truck, and you have a fire, damn dude, put out the fire for 2 minutes before I get there. Don't wait on me for the fire extinguisher. So yeah, so I'll say fire extinguisher 100%. You need to have a fire extinguisher. Chase lights requirement for sure.
Yep.
Have to see, and then VHF radio.
Gotta have.
It's a need. It's a need for any Raptor group too.
After that, as far as nice to haves, I think really is a really good recovery
Jesus Christ, Batman.
Cut that out, Adrian.
No, leave that in, Adrian.
No, don't leave. Take that out. Blah blah blah.
I'm empty again. God damn it, though.
Chad,
stand by. After that kind of
okay, required stuff, optional stuff. What's nice to have?
What's nice to have? Are you asking me?
Or you were asking me. I'm
asking you. Yeah. What is nice to have?
In the nice to have category, I think the next thing I would pick out would be a good recovery rope with some soft shackles, so you don't kill yourself.
You need the shackles. You need the soft shackles. Yes.
And the second thing after that is making sure you know how to use that stuff. We've had multiple instances where someone has the rope and they have the shackles, and they don't know how the things are used. Make sure you know how to use your recovery gear.
Here's the thing on that. I agree with you 100%. Right now, having done 50 runs, honestly, 50 runs, having done that many, I have seen dudes not know how to change a tire. As of last run, and I'm not pointing anyone out. I'm saying, as of last run, the run before that, dudes don't know how to change a tire. And it's not that you don't know how to change a tire. You don't know where your factory jack is. That's gnarly. Okay. And so I get my Pro Eagle out, and shout out to Pro Eagle, whatever. They don't pay me, Not yet.
They should.
But,
as many of those as we sell.
Yeah. No shit, huh? Yeah, they ain't paying me for it. Not yet.
Not yet.
But, pull that out. The truck's up in the air in like 10 seconds. And dudes, they're still fumbling around trying to find their jack. Like, that's gnarly. And then the biggest thing is the impact gun and the either the socket, the standard, socket 6-point, or their lug key with a 30 or with a 23-30 seconds or whatever key fits that lug key. That they don't have that, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? Like, there's like 6 standard lug keys. I carry all of them.
Yeah.
Right. But you're telling me that you don't have a way to get your tire off right now? Like, if your shit blew out on the road to get to this run right now, you wouldn't have a way to fix your tire? That's crazy. So every other run minimum, there's a guy that doesn't know how to change a tire. That's crazy. So it's not a mean thing. Just know how to change a tire. I'll help you, whatever. In King of the Hammers, I helped like 6 dudes change the tires because
I used a small child to help change mine.
You did. Yeah, you used child labor. You used child labor for years. Labor. No, but in King of the Hammers, oh my God, we had the most flats I've ever freaking seen. And so I changed more tires then than I've ever changed. And you know what? I don't even care. It's fun to change tires. It's fun. Jack the truck up and change the tire, whatever. But know how to use some of those things. And you know what? If at the end of the day all you have is the standard jack, is the standard lug key, and the standard, like the tire iron like that you have in your kit, know how to use those 3 things. Know how to use them, because you can self-recover yourself, more times than I can ever change a tire for you with my impact gun, a Pro Eagle, and do it myself in probably about 45 minutes. This is about how long I need to change a tire, but you should know how to do it separately from me.
Yeah. 5 minutes is great. 15 minutes, pretty good. 50 minutes using all the stock stuff. Hey, worst case scenario, not a great day, but at least you got it done.
So
all of those are better than I got a flat and I don't know
people
what
should
I'm
know. So I agree with you. The recovery rope, yes. The soft shackles, yes. Because if you're going to recover yourself, you should know how to recover yourself. But the knowing how to use the item just goes to everything. Yeah. Just know how to use the item that you're carrying, whether it's recovery rope or whether it's a jack, just know how to use that item. So don't let that be a hindrance. I shouldn't say. Don't let that be a hindrance, but it would behoove you to watch a YouTube video on how to change a tire. If you're that guy, you're like, man, I've never changed a tire and it is what it is. Like, hey man, that's cool. Just maybe watch a YouTube video. Maybe try it in your driveway. Not in your driveway. Don't try on a flat ground. But maybe try it. Like, fuck it, man. Like, why not spend 20 minutes and try it? Change one tire. Like just pop it off, put it back on, torque wrench it to 150. That kind of thing. And
even if you've changed a bunch of tires and you know what you're doing, don't hesitate for someone else to jump in and go, I have an idea that can save you a shit ton of time.
Yeah.
So King of the Hammers is a great example of this. When I had my flat, and I rarely have flats. In fact, I so rarely have flats that sometimes like, oh, great, I have a flat. I have to figure out how to do this again. Mm-hmm. And I've changed quite a few flats over the years. But I encountered a scenario I hadn't encountered before, which is we jacked the truck up, and the jack sank because the ground was soft because it had rained. It had rained the weekend prior.
Were you using Pro Eagle?
And we had the Pro Eagle. We had
Where was this?
This was. You didn't know about this flat tire. I didn't get a cowbell for this because you weren't there.
Yeah, we gotta tell them about the cowbell because not everyone knows about cowbell.
Yeah,
but where was this?
I forget which trail it was on, but basically I caught something on a sidewall and got a little slash and got a flat. But so we jacked the truck up, but the truck started to sink, and so we could get the flat tire off, but we couldn't get the spare on.
Oh, you weren't tall enough,
and we were tall enough. We're like,
even with an extension and everything.
It was all in there because it was sinking. And
no way.
Shout out to Brendan. So Brendan Kelly, he's like, we can just dig the soil out, and because he he quickly recognized
why would you
it had
do it?
rained.
You make
the
more,
ground is really soft.
make less soil.
We can just take
underneath
the
truck.
soil out.
Yeah.
So he grabbed a shovel, dug it out. We changed the tire the rest of the way. But there was a brief moment where I was like, "Well, we need another jack," because I was just in the brain. I was my brain was in the mode of like
Lift
jack
it
the
higher.
truck up, lift it higher, lift it higher.
higher.
And Brendan was like in the mode of, "Well, I'll just take the dirt away. It's sand and it's wet and it's easy to move."
Where were you with Brendan Kelly? Where I wasn't there, and you had a flat tire. Where was that?
I was King of the Hammers.
Oh, separate groups.
Yeah,
separate groups.
We were Alpha Wolf Squadron group.
Wolf Squadron.
Alpha Wolf Squadron group.
versus Beta douches.
Yeah. So we were the Alpha group.
Okay, no, yeah, that doesn't track.
Brendan, we were Alpha. Yeah, so that's a great example of where even when you know what all the steps are and everything else, you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? I need another jack. But Brendan was smart enough to go, no, you need a shovel and just move the dirt.
Okay, so part of this conversation was what do you need on top of the basic stuff, right? The basic stuff I've kept through the years. I've tried to keep to a minimum. Because I want the barrier to entry to be low.
Yeah,
I do, but there's a safety factor that's involved. So the fire extinguisher is like $20 on like Amazon, Target,
everybody should have it in every car, but
it's like $25 wherever the hell you go. Then the next step is the VHF radio and the chase lights. You do that. I mean, like you used to get GJ is an old name of the brand, right? GJ or Swarf Works now or RBG Rad Designs. Baja HQ was evil, now no more evil. There's a host of brands that have a third brake light. Anywhere but with the lights, anywhere between 450 to 500 and kind of 1,000. Like it's kind of high up there now. So call it $800, right? The radio, I recommend PCI. Get something from PCI. But you can get a lower tier radio from PCI. And I say lower tier, but 50 watt plus the standard radio. You can get that for $450, $500. So you have $1,300 in the parts. And then you can either install it yourself, or you can have it, if you're savvy, or you can have it installed for $700-800. Right? So you're in it for about $2,000. That's my goal, is to get everyone into the runs for $2,000. Then, because most people can afford that in terms of, okay, I can do it separately. I can piecemeal it together,
right?
Whatever. Or if you're, a member, you can get member discounts, that kind of thing. So that's the goal. It's $2,000 or less. It can be achieved. It can, right around $2,000. Then you have the price of the run, whatever run you want to go on, and then other than that, man. Like we make the runs to where you can just go out and drive and you're not going to break your shit.
Yeah.
You're not going to, hurt yourself. If you get a flat, guess what? I'll replace your tire for you, but you might realize you're going to want a Pro Eagle and a second spare and
yeah.
So, and my goal is not to sell parts. I don't sell parts anymore. I sold parts for 5 years, but the idea is to get you into the club, to realize, hey, this is super fun, and I need a certain small level of equipment to be involved with this club, and I make that barrier to entry very low. But I agree with you. Kinetic strap for $300 with some soft shackles, like total, right?
Gotten used.
Because with our discount, everything, whatever, you go to like Alpine Off-Road. Joey is a absolutely great guy. I cannot say a bad thing about Joey. Joey runs Alpine Off-Road. So great. But go to Alpine, get a strap, get soft shackles, $300 out the door, right?
And while you're there, order the Serape print Alpine off-road bag, the duffel.
Yeah, I like that one. But hey,
duffel's amazing.
While you're there, order the damn SCR SCR straps that we have coming.
Yes.
Order those.
But order that duffel, that Serape duffel.
I have one.
I bought one for the rope, so it's in my toolbox. Mm-hmm. So the rope and the shackles are in there. But I liked it, so I bought a second one. So when I travel on business or personal travel,
do you use it for personal travel?
Every personal travel trip, and every single trip, someone asks me, "What is that duffel, and where do I get one?" Oh, so I wonder how many people have bought an Alpine off-road Serape duffel
I wonder.
that have nothing to do with off-roading. Because some of them are people that I'm like, I don't think you even own a four-wheel drive vehicle based on your look and your questions, but they love that duffel.
That's fine. Well, it's a good print. The Serape print's a good print.
Yeah.
But that's why we did it for Baja last year. I don't know. I'm a mystery ranch guy. You can't. I'm a Yeti cooler, and I'm a mystery ranch, just bag guy. It's hard to persuade me separately. I can't. I have an Eberly stock.
That's Serape. I can see that offload from an airplane in London, and I'm like, that's my.
Well,
ranch.
I can see my mystery ranch bag. I can see my mystery ranch bag offload off, whatever plane or whatever as well. But I don't know. I like mystery ranch, but no. So I kinetic rope. You can't go wrong because guess what? You can use it. You can have a buddy recover you.
I've used my kinetic rope on Chad more than I've used it on my own truck.
That's bullshit. No.
It's never been used to recover my truck. It's been used on Chad's truck.
My rope has been used to recover countless trucks.
But not mine.
Not yours.
But mine has been used to recover your truck.
Yeah.
In Pismo. Yeah. In the sand bowl.
That was gnarly. That was a big sand bowl. You admit I had a reason to be a little worried.
You did have a reason because I was like, where are you? I was like,
no, I'm down there.
Oh, there you are. Oh, that looks scary.
It was scary. No. I've never seen Adrian. I've never seen Adrian scared before. And I saw a little bit of scared poke out of him when we did that. I was like, and he was a little scared.
Yeah.
He was a little scared. But no. So recovery rope, I agree with you 100%. Then you start getting into like the next tier, which is like bed rack, spare, second spare tire, and Pro Eagle. Not required.
I will say the second spare.
It's good practice.
And anybody that's been on a run has seen my second spare setup. So lots of folks have their bed racks where they can carry two spares vertical. It's really cool. I carry a lot of mountain bikes and tools and spare parts. So a lot of spare parts are in my truck. For those that don't know, like we have upper control arms and brake pads and tie rods and a whole bunch of other stuff that rides around in my toolbox for the runs. A lot of times it rides around in my toolbox all the time because I forget that they're in there and I commute back and forth to work with them for weeks on end and forget.
Yep.
But those spare parts are in my truck all the time. But as a result of the toolbox being there to hold all that stuff and to hold my mountain bikes,
I like that you have the toolbox there. Yeah. I would never carry a toolbox like that. I like that though.
I have like a toolbox with like random stuff in it that we need, and there's spare fluids. There's all sorts of stuff that's in there.
I have used the spare fluids.
Yes,
I probably owe you somewhere in the neighborhood of like $100 of like diff fluid. Like
I think the diff fluid you owe to Sarge. I believe those diff fluid packs are the ones that Sarge gave me and said, "Oh yeah, put these in the spare kit."
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure those are all the way from Sarge.
I miss Sarge.
I miss him too. Yeah, that dude's cool. But yeah, because all that's in there, I can't do a normal like dual tire setup in my truck. So I just have my extra spare. So I have my spare down below, but my extra spare is just tied down with straps on the D-rings on the bed mount bolts. And it was sort of like hokey at first, but it's actually proven to be really useful over time because I use those all the time to tie down cargo that I'm transporting from A to B.
Yeah.
So even this weekend, I'm picking up stuff here at Baja HQ and I'm taking it north, and it's going to be strapped down to those spots. So somebody that's like figuring out like, okay, well, how do I carry a second spare without doing that? Well, that's another great option. And hey, that's those cool Alpine straps that I won at a raffle.
Yeah. No, Alpine's really cool. I don't even try to push Joey. I like Alpine stuff. It's before I was talking to Joey before like Alpine became like a thing, and I was working in the parts industry, in the aftermarket industry, and I was talking to Joey completely separate of the company I was working for, and I was like, man, like this is so cool. Like no one makes like kind of customizable, like cool separate from like black straps, right. Like no one makes that. And he was making like cool design straps. I was like, dude, this is so cool. And then he's like, and it's it's made in the USA, blah blah blah. And it was like on par, a little bit more expensive than like a Max strap kind of thing. I was like, dude, fuck it, man, this is super cool. Like you make like a in my opinion a better looking product, like a cooler looking product, and made in the USA, and last just as long, right? I was like, why the fuck wouldn't I do it? And so we're just talking together, and I sold him some stuff and whatever. But super cool dude. From that point on, I was like, dude, anything this guy puts out is cool. And he made it a point to just put out, like, just for the first, like, he still does, but the first, for like 3 years, it was like cool shots. Dude, this is awesome. It was like Serapa bags and colors of straps that, like, no one else had. I was like, dude, this is so cool that you're putting out, like, stuff that, like no other company is making, And so that's why, like, literally, like, legit Baja racers are using his straps. Like, it's so cool. So, anyway, I like it. Now he's making straps for us, and he's made straps for Baja HQ. He's made straps for Hannah Race Design. He's made straps for everyone. It's cool. So, no, it's a good product. The gray ink in the straps, that if you have a gray ink, they like to fade a little bit.
Some of it's just limitations of materials.
It's a limitation of material. It's not him. It's just the gray ink just fades. And I have an OG. Literally, it's called the OG strap from Alpine and Off-Road, and it hasn't yet. I've had it for like 3 months, but you hit about a year and a half. That gray gets real light. It starts to fade, but it's just nature material. You just can't. And then you look at it, and he has a product replacement plan that he understands that shit fades after a couple of years, and you can replace it for a cost. So that's kind of nice. I'll be running our straps in 2 months or a month, but I have the OG straps that if they were to fade after a year, send them in to Alpine Off-Road, and he replaces them for free.
I'm just
not
happy,
for free, but for cost.
I'm just happy that the design you did for the NorCal ones is better than the SoCal ones. Oh yeah, definitely.
Same design, different color. What are you talking about?
The colors are so much better.
Orange for NorCal, and I would do the dark blue, but I know that Alpine dark blue, becomes light blue semi-quickly within a year or two. I didn't want that. So that's why I did white and black I'm a smart cookie. So I did white and black for Alpine, and that'll last for a period of years.
I'm just glad NorCal got the orange.
I like the orange. You understand that? I'm in NorCal. Like, I started NorCal Raptor. I started it, right? You understand that?
I have the orange on my truck with the blue, so it would really mess me up if you flip that around.
I'm doing SoCal now because I'm in SoCal, but I have a special flair for NorCal. I like NorCal stuff, so I'm well aware of. I'm well in tune with the coloring and
we will
the
coloration. Troll you till the end of time.
I can't wait for the beach. You're gonna roll up to the beach and be like, what the fuck? I can't wait. Well, anything else? Do you think that
let's see, what else for gear? I feel like everything else is a want to have. Is a want to have. There's some good to haves. There's things that if you're going with a group, probably
toolkits.
Toolkits are like toolkits are key.
Bring some fucking tools.
Bring some basic tools, but like no one's gonna have every tool.
No. But it's a amalgamation of everything together. Yeah.
Now this is
you have spare parts. I have tools.
Yeah. It's just, I keep a I'll call it a budget toolkit in the truck. But the reason I keep the budget toolkit in the truck is it doesn't get used all the time. Mm-hmm. And if I forget and leave my toolbox open, and I happen to have to go somewhere and I forget to lock the toolbox and it gets stolen, I don't care if a $90 tool set gets stolen. So I keep a $90 tool set in the toolbox.
And I keep a $500 toolkit, but I keep it inside the truck.
Yeah.
Because I want those tools to stay. But those are my daily tools. I mean, I use those.
So note to listeners, if you want a $500 toolkit, just break Chad's rear window, unlock the back
break into my truck, brother.
You get a $500 toolkit.
You know what? Go for it. Go for it.
I can send you the address for $20.
Break into my garage first and see what happens. At that point, I'm legal.
But other than that, like it becomes, you don't want to go too overboard too, because this is the other thing I think people forget is if you carry too much stuff that you're not regularly using, you're adding weight to your vehicle. And when you're adding weight to your truck, you're changing the dynamics of how it handles with suspension and loading and everything else. So you also have to be careful. So some of us have modified our trucks and we've accounted for that extra weight. If you haven't modified your truck or changed your springs or anything else, and you've added a whole bunch of weight, you're changing the dynamics of how your truck behaves. So if you're carrying too much stuff, great that you're prepared. Now your ride experience isn't going to be as good, or your truck may not handle as well.
Correct. And yeah, there is a huge, I would say, like correlation between. Yeah, I'm not saying this in a bad way at all, but huge correlation between the level of experience of a person going off-road and the amount of gear that they carry. The more you go off-road, the less you carry. It's just factually true. It just is. When I went off-road for the first time, I was nervous, butterflies, the whole thing, didn't know what to expect, whatever. With a Raptor, I mean, I've been off-road before, but like Raptor Run, full tilt, like go for it, 100 miles an hour off-road. I didn't know what to expect. I brought everything in the kitchen sink. Everything I could imagine in the kitchen sink. I brought. And that's, you don't need that. You don't need that. Me preparing for 20 other trucks to come with me, that's a little bit of a different story. But even then, I don't bring everything in the kitchen sink. But I see that's a slightly common pitfall that I see with people is they bring too much stuff. You don't need recovery boards. You don't need, a legitimate shop tool box. You don't. That's what chase trucks are for.
Yeah.
That's what mechanics are for. And we have chase trucks and mechanics on the runs, right? But it comes with a level of confidence of going off road and that kind of thing. But again, nothing against it. Everyone's going to start that way, including myself. I started that way, but
yeah,
I learned over years and years and years. You don't have to carry those things. You carry different things or slimmed down versions that can do multi-use and that kind of thing. But yeah, you don't have to carry those crazy toolkits.
I feel like a lot of people could look at my toolbox and go, okay, those are things I don't need to carry on a run because they're in Rob's toolbox.
Yes.
Like upper control arms and
you are a spare parts truck.
Yes. There's spare parts in there for a reason. Those are there. We carry those so you don't have to.
Yes. You're a spare parts truck for a reason. And Bailey is on the runs as a mechanic and he will replace those spare parts with our help, but he'll replace those spare parts.
Then I can walk into Bailey and go, someone said they had a tie rod that's broken. I have a tie rod.
Yeah.
Do you know how to put it in?
Yeah. Please put it in. Please put it in. And please do a tape measure alignment. Thank you very much.
Because you will do a 100% better job than I will.
Yeah. and that's the system that we have. Yeah. And that's the system that we have. But I don't want people to look at this and think, and if you've spent 3 hours with us or whatever, we're rambling at this point 2 hours. But if you see this and you go, you know what, man, I want to do a run or whatever, because that's the goal. I want you to come out and come on our runs. I want you, even if you're watching this in freaking Florida, go on Florida Raptor runs. Go on Arizona Raptor runs. If you're in Arizona, go on your local group. But if you're watching this and you're in California, you go, look, I want to come out and run. I don't want to scare you away. I want you to have the basic requirements because we require basic equipment. And then at that point, come out on the run, see what it's like, and see what you want to upgrade and need, past that point. Because you'll want to.
Yep.
But not everything is needed. Like, not everything in kitchen sink. It's just not needed. It's not needed. But I see guys that do it every run. Every run they come, they bring the kitchen sink. They go, you'll learn. You'll figure it out after a while. After a couple of runs, you go, I don't need that. It's a level of confidence that comes associated with a couple of runs and, 3, 4, 5 runs. And I don't need this. And, toolkit, jack, second spare tire, radio, chase lights, recovery rope. Other than that, your fire extinguisher. You're kind of golden. It's just how you carry it at that point. Yeah.
Maybe a little some of those Purell handy wipes to wipe the grin off your face after your first couple hours.
Yeah.
Actually using the truck
in
the way that it's designed to be used.
I'm telling you, man, I it's so fun to hear people like after like me doing like 50 runs, you know, like it's still fun. It's still like a therapeutic release almost, you know. But to hear people like their first run, like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is so fun. I can't even imagine I'm doing this, you know. I'm like, yeah, man, that's like you get to like relive it a little bit through them kind of thing. You know what I mean? And that's fun. Like I want to bring someone who's never come on a run before and they go and they do it. And like, this is amazing. This is so fun. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
Because I get a little bit of fun out of that. I obviously get fun out of driving my own truck, but I get a little bit of fun out of showing someone how cool and fun it is to come off road with a truck that's like very capable, and it's capable at 100 miles an hour, and it's also capable at 80 miles an hour and 40 miles an hour and 20 miles an hour. But most trucks are capable at 20 to 40 miles an hour. Not a lot of trucks are capable at 80 to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's a threshold around 45 to 50.
Yes.
That's what the game changes.
You hit about 45, most trucks go away.
Yeah.
Raptor maintains.
Yeah.
And then you hit about 100, every other truck goes away. The Raptor maintains.
Yeah.
At 100. I mean, you go to 100 and I've been 126 off-road on a trail. And in my Raptor, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. This is so stupid. I'm at 126 miles an hour. It's like trophy truck speed. And I'm like, this is so fucking stupid that I'm going this fast off-road, like on dirt, on a trail. Like, this is insanity.
And a big shout out to the special places that we know of where that's legal.
I was in one of those places.
And knowing those places, that's part of the key too.
Yep.
Knowing where to go to enjoy that.
Yep.
Because it's not everywhere.
No. 126 miles an hour is crazy. Anyway, thank you for coming all the way down here. And
yeah, let's hope that the lighting and the sound and the fireplace.
Good Lord, I hope it all works together because we just spent 3 hours and 6 drinks in. And I hope it works out.
There's a whole soundboard over here. There's all sorts of stuff going on that
Rob came down and he goes, "You got a lot of stuff." I go,
like,
"I went hard in the paint to try to figure it out."
We know Chad has a lot of buttons you can push, but this takes it to a whole new level. There's like a whole board over here.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I had to learn to make this happen.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being the first guest. And
Now we'll see how terrible this is versus the next one.
I think it'll be all right. We'll be all right.
We'll be doing the next one on the beach, so you got to figure out how to make all this mobile.
No. None of this is mobile. This is all right here, brother.
It's got to be mobile.
No, it can't be mobile.
Don't you have a power port in your truck?
No, not for this. No.
This can't use that much power.
No, I don't have no idea what
we
it
can make
consumes.
this mobile. Of course, it'll have the wind to the beach, so it'll be like...
R.I.P. headphone users. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
It was fun.
Well, I will see you on the next run.
Okay, good luck editing all this, Adrian.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Adrian.
He's gonna be like, "What the actual hell?"
Yeah. We stretched Adrian's ability on this one, I think.
We love. That's always a good thing to do. It's when he does his best work.
Yeah.